Hi everyone, it's Bren here, and in this week's garden update I'll share with you my upcycled soccer ball planter, a perennial plant that's in full bloom now in my late autumn garden. And also I got a really cool freebie this week that I want to show you too. So let's get into it now. I'm underneath the orange tree to show you something that I upcycled this week. It's one of my kids' old soccer balls that had a tear in it. So I decided to give it another lease of life by upcycling it into this hanging basket, popping in this lovely potted colour, which I purchased from my local nursery. I think the hint of yellow in these pansies, there on the petals, complements the yellow soccer ball. We got a lovely drop of rain last night and early this morning. You can see the oranges still have some on it. And I'm delighted to be able to show you what's going on down here. Finally, the sweet peas have all started to pop up. And can you believe it, over here I have this sunflower. I didn't actually sow this one, it just came up by itself. It's so nice to be able to have this summer flower here in my late autumn garden. It's a bit of a clash of seasons at the moment, with this tree here starting to lose its leaves. Each one, to me, if you look at it in detail, is just so pretty, like nature's artwork. I quite like this one here. I'm really happy to see it just losing its leaves naturally. Do you remember back in summer when I was kind of freaking out? I was so worried that this tree was going to die because it was shedding leaves back then. But thankfully we got that drought-breaking rain and the tree has survived. And now it's losing its leaves naturally. Soon I'll start gathering up all of these. I'll make leaf mould for the garden. Over in this messy area, I did make a start on clearing it out. You can see here that all of the amaranths, zinnias and cosmos are gone now. I've still got a lot more work to do in here, amending the soil and clearing out some more of the weeds, but I have to get thinking about what I'm going to put in here. Luckily I've got plenty of plants here to choose from. I can't get over how quickly these lacy Phacelia seedlings are growing, as well as this stock here too. I might put some of them in that section. And in here I have this Cineraria, some dianthus, and my favourite foxgloves. All of them are growing in these tube stock pots, which I'm a huge fan of. Let me show you why. If you take a look here at the root system of this foxglove, you can see that it's really stretched down to the very bottom of the pot, creating this lovely, healthy, strong root system, giving this little plant the best start once I pop it in the ground. If you're looking for a burst of bright colour in autumn time, you just can't go wrong with this Mexican marigold. This entire perennial plant is covered in these clusters of flowers, which are so aromatic. One of my followers on TikTok shared that you can actually make a herbal tea with this plant. I'm looking forward to trying it. Now once these flowers finished, I'm going to trim back this plant to help retain its shape. I'm telling you, I'm delighted I put this in a couple of years ago because it's just so drought tolerant, and it survived this summer here where a few others in this bed didn't. Let me show you them. So this one didn't make it. Either did this plant or this one, and the one here is looking very sad. It could have a chance. But on the other hand, the native plants which I put in here, like this silver emu bush, they survived. And this just shows me how important it is to put plants in the ground that are native to your area. Like this one here is able to withstand the harsh conditions that the Australian climate throws at it. Heading to the back garden now, but look at this. I have a random tree growing here. Further up the steps I have this lovely lavender with little pink flowers, and the other one here has these little mauve purple flowers. There are 4 plants in this section and they've completely filled out the space. even going over the pathway. And look what else is here, a tomato plant. It even has some fruit on it. I've just come down to the chickens to see how they're getting on. Here's the 2 new ones. We've had them for about maybe 4 weeks now. And they're pretty entertaining to watch. So the brown chicken is called Autumn. And this white one here, oh, don't drink that. This one here is called Snowflake. My kids gave them those names. There's a couple of fluff butts that you probably didn't want to see. These are 2 older girls. They're about 2.5 years old now. Oh, they're going under to their favourite place, under the orange tree. And just beside the chicken run, I have this area with all my brassicas. And I wanted to say thank you to you guys for all the advice about the caterpillars, and to Rob for the details about this land crest. I actually last Friday ended up going to a garden centre and buying some of this plant. Just to share with everyone else what I've learned from you is that this land crest is a bit like a sacrificial plant. This will hopefully attract the cabbage white moths over here and lay their eggs on these leaves rather than on the leaves of my brassicas like this cabbage. Oh, I've just spotted another one there. All I do is just kind of wipe it off and squish it. And I want to come over this way. Whoops, I shouldn't have walked on that bed. You don't walk on your beds. You don't want to compact the soil. Anyway, this is where I have all of my heirloom beetroots. And look what's happening here. You see them? There's more over here. They're starting to germinate. Fantastic. I scored a free worm farm this week. Someone I know didn't want theirs anymore, and I managed to get it for free. How good's that? You can see here their dog chewed the tap, but I'm not really worried. That's easily fixed. I'm really excited to get this going. But I did want to mention that you don't need to go out and buy plastic worm farms like this, or even compost bins. They're really easy to make them yourselves with free upcycled material. Like over here, I made this really cheap, inexpensive compost bin. Just using chicken wire and some stakes I already had and twine, but you can upgrade that to some wire if you have it. I also have this DIY video on my TikTok account as well, if you want to go and check that out. Since we're over here in the raised beds, let me show you a few things. I've thinned out these, which are the purple top turnips. I need to do a bit more thinning here of these beetroots. Actually, in fact, I think a lot of these might be pansies. I've noticed a lot of little seedlings have popped up through these beds where I had some last year. And the capsicum beds are no more. They're already planted up. So as I said, I did go to a garden centre and I bought seedlings. In this one here, I have these celeriac seedlings which I purchased. I'm excited to try them. And then I've just popped in some more lettuce and some calendula seedlings for a bit of flowers at the front. The other bed that had the capsicums is now full of some lettuce and silver beet. Good old reliable silver beet. We go through so much of that here in my house. One of our favourite dishes is spinach and ricotta cannelloni. It's a meal that my whole family eats, which is pretty rare, having 3 kids with different tastes in food. In this bed here, I put in some shallots, which I also purchased as well, and you can see that I put them in clumps. I think they grow well in clumps together. I mean, you could put them in individually, but I'm just going to see how these go. Over here in this part of the garden, beside the rhubarb, I sowed some seeds of Spanish black radishes. And this was the area where I told you the chickens got to last week and start scratching around. However, look at this. they're all germinating and they seem fine. How good's that? Thanks so much for watching till the end. I'm going to head inside now. I've got my very last day of learning from home with my kids. They're back to school full time here in New South Wales on Monday, and is it bad to say that I can't wait for that to happen? And oh my goodness, a huge shout out to all the teachers out there. You guys do the most incredible job. Okay, take care everyone. See you next Friday.